Cloud. All right, well, welcome to our third and final Lunch and Learn with from the Media Library. Today we have Jim Jacobson from EBSCO, and he is going to be talking about a specific product called Points of View. And the reason we wanted to feature this is because of the fact that argumentative writing is in the core in English language arts, but also in writing in science and social studies from grades 6 through 12. And so having some supports on how to get into resources that are safe and relevant and provide opposing viewpoints, these are some great resources to do that. So he is going to fill us in on some of the benefits of Points of View.
Sure. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me here. I have a couple slides just to help understand what Points of View Reference Center is all about. So what I'll do is I'll share my screen and let me know when you can see that. How's that?
It says you're sharing, but right now it's just black. There we go. Yep.
Okay, so a little bit of a delay. So as we're talking about today, I'm really focusing this on teachers and educators in the Grantwood AEA area for Points of View Reference Center. It really is a great resource when you're talking about debate or a pro-con approach to any reports that you might be doing. It really has an excellent handle on all of the different magazines that we put into the database, which provides just really rich content on a persuasive viewpoint. So what I'll do is kind of go over some of the features. It has over 500 topics, many of which will be in a easy to view interface. So I'll go over the interface in a little bit. But it also has a lot of tools beyond just the articles themselves. It's laid out in such a fashion that there's also guidance along the way also. And we'll go over some of those features also. It's an excellent database for critical thinking also. So there really is a nice opportunity for you to take a look and help your students along when they're trying to figure out what side of a topic that they might be on, and also some of the more in-depth resources right at their fingertips. So as it says on the slide, we have over 2,250 essays, key talking points, a lot of summaries, and author accreditations also. So anything that you find in the database, you can also cite, which is very nice from a trustworthy standpoint. And each article will also have anywhere between 5 and 15 bibliographic citations available in it. When you're using Points of View Reference Center, know that you have over 21 million full text records. Those records include HTML and PDF from leading political magazines. It also has radio and television news transcripts, primary source documents, reference books, and also blog content. So you're really getting up-to-date information when you're using Points of View on current events. So some of the magazines that are in Points of View Reference Center, you can always go to our website at ebsco.com and get a full listing, or feel free to reach out to me if you're curious on what magazines are making up Points of View Reference Center, just like any of our EBSCO products. But it really goes the gamut from left to right and all the way through the center. You'll have excellent resources and publications to draw from when you're looking at the different topics that you're exploring. Some other just key examples: the American Prospect, the Atlantic, Harvard Political Review, the New Yorker, Teen Inc., just a number of great resources, many of which are exclusive to the EBSCO product line. So when you're looking at helping your students, as this slide points out, I pulled out a few key aspects of it. There's 35 easy to browse main categories. One of which that we'll explore is the National High School Debate topic category. Each year, the national debate comes up, and it's a topic that you can use safely in all environments and actually go to competitions with them. So if you're looking at a debate club or a debate team, it's an excellent one to look towards for guidance. And in our points of view, I'll also point out some features that will help you educate your students on it also. We'll also look at the text-to-speech HTML articles, citations, and a number of other tools that you can use as you're looking at those reports and building their arguments. For educators, we've got multimedia that you can use in the classrooms. There's great reading level indicators like Lexile Group that I'll show you where those can be found. The curriculum standard module is really, really nice to help, correlate what's in this database to what the standards would be, and then Google integration with a number of other integrations that are built right into the database. So what I'll do is I'll stop sharing for a second and actually pull up the database itself. So let me know when you can see that. Hopefully that'll be coming up in just a second. Sorry for the little bit of delay.
Yep, we see it.
Okay. So here's hopefully what you're experiencing when you go to Points of View Reference Center. What I'll do is I'll kind of show you the front page. This is called the landing page of Points of View. It's laid out a little differently than most of our databases from the standpoint that it should look similar, but there's a lot of other tools that I'll go over. So when you come to this landing page, the first thing you'll notice is an excellent search box, which is keyword oriented. So if you type in something that, suppose as a teacher, your students are going to be assigned a specific topic, or if they want to explore some topics, they could literally type it in right here. So it's keyword oriented. But if they're looking for topics, or if you're looking to inquire about different topics, this in the news river runs through, and this is always updated. So this is what we're finding is entered in, polled and surveyed, and then brought into this new interface to keep the interface fresh. So in the news are things that are across the nation being brought up. You'll also notice that on this page, you'll see a new Points of View interface that's going to be coming. I just want to mention that because it will have a little bit different look and feel as it enters into the Explora world that we're changing things to. So that is something that you're more than welcome to check out. But what we'll focus on today is what you'd probably experience right now with this particular one. So in the news, you'll notice you can scroll left and right and get an idea of what people are talking about and looking for from a point counterpoint standpoint as we move forward. You can also browse by category. So when we're talking about things like censorship, earth and environment, foreign policy, you'll also notice that as I scroll down a little bit deeper, you will see the National High School Debate content there also. So what I'll do is if you click on more, you can always see all of the different things that are available. If I would play, like say, working remotely is something that I'd like to explore. I'll just click on that. And what you'll notice when it comes up is that you're going to have three things. You're going to have the overview that comes up. Again, this is HTML full text, which is really nice because some of the features that gives you access to is you can listen to it, or you can also choose a language to translate it into, which is really nice for English language learners, Or if you're really just multitasking, you'd rather listen than read, these are nice features that are brought up when you click on that article interface. And this comes through normally on just about every topic. So once you you type in a topic, you'll notice the search bar pulled up this particular one, but you have an overview, which again is full text. You'll notice this rich tool set on the right-hand side, which gives you Google Classroom, Google access to Google Drive, OneDrive. You can print from there. You can save. You can also, I'll click on Cite. So if I wanted to cite this, even though it's an overview, what's really nice is it is from a source that you can use in your reports and or debates right from the beginning. So it'll give you that access. I'll close out of that. You can export it, and you can also enter a permalink. The permalink is going to be going away as you move into the new Explorer realm, which is nice because it won't be session related. But right now, a permalink is going to give you access to this specific article. So those are some of the features that you can find as you look through. One of the other things is as you dig in, you'll notice that you can see related items. So for each topic, there's going to be a point, which is going to be the pro approach to that particular topic. You'll also see the counterpoint, which is the obviously what it says, the counterpoint or the other side of the argument. So in this environment, it's really nice because you can get a feel for both sides. You don't have to make your decisions right up front. You'll have access to both. And from a teacher standpoint, what's really nice is you'll also get a guide to critical analysis. So this guide to critical analysis is very nice. I'll click into that just a second. It opens in a new window, and it gives you the opportunity to take a look and get some really nice information about what you should do before you start reading your articles. It gives you the content of where you can click down to if you want to find some things very quickly, but it can tell you about the review, the terms, excellent information about fact versus opinion, how to start, disseminating that. So as we start putting an argument together, making sure you're aware that there's cold hard facts and then there's opinion that might be brought into some of those things. So it's a really nice critical analysis piece that you can look to. And all of these are right on the front page. As with anything in a database, you can dig even deeper. So as you're looking into it, here's the detailed record. There is a PDF full text of this. As I said, here is the first article, but you can also find related information. So if you want to find any newspaper articles or radio TV transcripts about this particular topic, you can really dig into it right using the same interface. If I do want to explore something else, what's really nice is I can either click on the logo right here, or I can go to a new search. So I will do that. And it brings me right back to the basic search page with all of the different categories. As we look at this particular page, you'll notice that this is your basic search right here. But if I go into an advanced search, I can get very specific. So once I'm looking at it, if I want to find publications from a certain date, if I want a certain document type, if I want to keep it within a certain Lexile group for my students, I can do all of that right from this advanced search area. I can even type in the type of publication type. Maybe for the class that I'm teaching, it's not really appropriate for academic journals, but I want to keep it more into, documents or primary source material, any trade publications, those type of things. I can even go with titles. If I have a specific publication in mind that I know is in that database, I can type that in also. Gives me my Boolean searching type capabilities. Also, if I want to make sure it's peer reviewed or maybe just even a cover story, all of that is found right here in that advanced search tab. So by going back to I'll just go back to the cover page. Some of the other points that I wanted to put out there is you can browse by category, which is really nice. So each one of these have drill downs. So under animal welfare, you can go through animal rights, expectations, and each one of those categories has that available to you. In the spotlight is a nice little area because that's updated and keeps the database fresh. And it is also very similar to in the news, populated by popular terms and search items that are going on at the time. What's also really nice here for teachers is the fact that you have these what's called our reference shelf, and it has curriculum standards, how to create an essay outline, charts and graphs, all those type of things right here in the interface. You don't have to leave the database to find out some of that deeper information. And you can also see all the research guides. So as you noticed, there's always research guides available for each of these different categories. It has all of them available right there. So let me just dive in a little bit further into the National High School again. So what I'll do is I will click on more. You'll notice there's a number of debate topics. And I will just go with this particular one, which is right at the top. So again, you'll notice that you have the overview for economic inequality, which is one aspect of what the National High School debate topic would be. As I drill down, you'll notice that you can either make these larger or smaller. That's just one of those features that's available. So I'll keep them here. But underneath even the critical analysis, you'll also notice that there's other things available. Down here, if there's any graphs or images available, here's the research guide information that we had talked about, where how to choose a topic, how to evaluate a website. All of this, along with the curriculum standards, is right there and available to you to help your students better understand not only the topics, but also just the how-tos that go along with either research papers or debates if you're starting a club or a team. So a lot of really powerful information right at your fingertips. I know we're getting a little short on time, so I'll wrap things up by saying what's also nice is we have a Connect support line, where if you want to have things to promote either your club or using points of view, we can go to Connect, which is free to everyone. It's connect.ebsco.com, which will bring you to this page. And very similar to most of our other resources, there's a nice big search box. And if you type in points of view, it'll give you ideas of what's there already and take you right to that information. A couple things that I wanted to point out in this area, though, is the promotion kit. And I want to do that because when we click on it, the promotion kit gives you great resources as a teacher, like debate scorecards. And you'll notice here, there's a number of printable materials, scavenger hunts, if you want to have a fun way of learning how to use the databases. And these are types of things that most of our databases have available to them. So it's not just points of view, but in this area for points of view specifically, lesson plans are available, elements of persuasion, oral debates, and how to prepare for them. A lot of really great information so that you don't have to hunt and search for this, especially if you're starting a new club or working with kids that are in some of the younger age groups. So I will stop sharing there. Is there any questions that we have as we wrap up? Well, I thank you for your time today. Hopefully you found it informational and helpful. There's a lot of great resources and journals that are in that particular database. So I hope you find it very helpful as you go forward.
Yeah, I have one question. I'm wondering about if you have a preview or something of what it's going to look like when you switch it to an Explorer type of view.
Sure. Yeah, we actually have the ability to send out beta testing right now. It's one of those that we were planning on changing over during the summertime.
Gotcha. Okay.
But let me see.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Oh,
It will
because I
still
can
be
show you
called
what it looks
points.
like.
Okay, if you have it handy, I just don't want to make you
Sure.
have to dig into the
No,
innards of your device.
this will just take a second.
Okay, and will it still be called points of view?
It'll be points of view on Explorer.
Okay.
So what we're moving towards is using Explorer as the constant interface for
Gotcha.
everything.
Okay.
So I have it here.
Okay.
So again, there's just that little bit of lag. So let me know when you can see it.
Yep, I see it.
Yep. So very similar. It's just a little bit of a rearranging. So what you're looking for would be right up here. Again, nice big search box. We did a lot of work with accessibility. So you'll see that the page is cleaner. It's a lot brighter. A very large image right here, which is pretty indicative of Explorer. So as you understand Explorer, you'll understand all of our reference centers, which are now going to be called reference sources.
Okay.
So just again, most of them will be saying on Explorer. You'll have the little pills at the bottom to kind of, instead of having the river that runs through, and they're a lot more image oriented. So instead of having it more text heavy like we saw in the other one where it was like all just links, it's going to be a lot easier to navigate.
Nice.
You're going to see that on your left-hand side, that's where you're going to have your curriculum standards, your citation and guide help. Everything's going to be here instead of on the right-hand side like it was. So just an overall very clean approach. And hopefully with that Explorer experience, you won't have to learn a number of different interfaces, but it'll still keep that pro and that point counterpoint approach so that we can have a very nice overview experience when you're looking into different topics. So hopefully it'll be as easy or easier as it moves forward.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much. And feel free to send anything that you would like for me to link into the resource document.
Sure.
Otherwise, we'll have the recording for them.
I'll add the debate scorecard and a few other things that you can add. So I'll send them over to you.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah. And then I'm going to pause recording.
Let me get back.
All right. Well, our very final mini lunch and learn session is on SIRS Issues Researcher. We have Larry here, and he is from Clarivate, who owns SIRS, if that's the right way to explain that.
Right, ProQuest, SIRS, yeah.
Okay, awesome. And we wanted to feature this, first of all, because of the great content that it has, but also we know that in grades 6 through 12 in the core, the Common Core in English Language Arts, as well as in content writing for science and social studies, that argumentative or persuasive paper is a requirement. And so having this content that's available that already provides multiple articles on opposing sides is a great way to introduce kids to that type of research. Makes it more efficient with their time. But there's also so much more than just the opposing articles. So Larry is going to share all the loveliness of SIRS with us. And go ahead, Larry.
Thank you very much, Diana. Thank you, Kathleen. Very honored to be here and very happy to be talking about SIRS with you today. Just want to start with an overview of the SIRS Issues Researcher product. This is a product that has a long history. I mean, SIRS started as a company in 1973 in print. SIRS actually stands for Social Issues Resources Series. And over the years, this product has evolved from print to digital to online, and we continue to refine and improve upon it as the technology evolves. So as Diana mentioned, this is a product that's really optimized for the pro-con issues assignment, often called argumentative essay, persuasive essay. There are many names given to this type of assignment. It's very common really across the country. What distinguishes SIRS is that it's editorially selected content. So every article is picked by an editor who's trained in the selection of content to match these, what we call leading issues. We select from respected magazines, newspapers, books, and primary sources to address this assignment. There are over 320 leading issues that are curated by our editors. These are specially designed topic pages that provide an overview, an essential question, a timeline, sample articles, offering contrasting viewpoints on that essential question. And we're going to look in depth about the design and how this kind of aligns to and addresses state standards in a moment. All of the content's 100% full text. It's Lexiled. We have staff written summaries and manual indexing as well for each article. So from any document, you can use the index to kind of cross-search for other related articles on that topic. There's also a host of tools, text-to-speech, document translation, that's on-the-fly translation, and integration with common workflow tools like Google Drive, Google Classroom, Microsoft OneDrive, Canvas, and Blackboard as well. So why SIRS Issues Researcher? What really distinguishes it from other resources out there? Well, as I mentioned, its focus is on a common argumentative essay assignment, so it improves user success in completing that project. It's really the focus of the product. You'll see by the design of the interface that everything leads toward successful outcomes for that particular assignment. There's also a wealth of material on other topics as well that is discoverable by search, but really the interface design really underscores and supports that argumentative essay. Because it's full text, it saves novice researchers time. They don't have to spend a lot of effort finding a topic or gathering supporting evidence. We know a lot of times students only have so much time in the library to do research or even at home. And so, time is precious, and the interface and the selected nature of the product really supports that time-saving experience. Selection also assures that the content will be relevant, authoritative, and age-appropriate. The diverse content types assures a variety of perspectives, and it helps students meet assignment requirements for source type diversity. We all know that frequently students are told that they need to find so many newspaper sources, so many magazine sources, and again, this diversity of content can help support that requirement. For a student, it's an easy to use interface. It's really designed for the novice, with the novice in mind. We don't make any assumptions that they have prior experience with research databases. We fully expect that their prior experience may only be with Google. 100% full text is important because it really addresses the fact that they need the document itself. Abstracting and indexing won't really help with that research assignment. The integration with Google facilitates collaboration. And then that leading issues page design saves users times when researching a topic. And I'll show you in a moment when we leave the PowerPoint and go to the website exactly how that design helps. And then, of course, text-to-speech, document translation, and citation tools address those diverse learning needs. So regardless of where the student is coming from in terms of their learning journey, we do have the tools to support them. And really, one thing I want to underscore is the fact that the editorial selection is a critical aspect of this product. The documents are selected from over 2,000 sources, including titles that you've heard of: New York Times, LA Times, Wall Street Journal, Popular Science, The Economist, and many, many more. Our editors do look for images and graphics and charts to accompany the articles wherever possible. We know that a lot of times students are asked to provide graphics as part of like their output, whether that's as part of a PowerPoint, or it could be even in a written report. The ProQuest editors have many years experience selecting content in support of this pro-con and controversial issues research. They're really methodical in their in the research that they do to find content from these authoritative sources to then build these leading issues pages that we're going to look at. And then it's current. We do multiple updates per week to reflect the evolving nature of these issues, whether it's in science or current events. And we are adding new issues all the time. We add somewhere between 10 to 15 new issues every year. And as I say, we have over 320 currently in the product. So with that, I'm going to move from our PowerPoint to an in-product demonstration. So I'm just going to exit out of PowerPoint and jump to my web browser. And you'll see here, this is the landing page for SIRS Issues Researcher. So this is a product that can be accessible from school. It can be accessible from home. It is responsively designed. So if I shrink the size of the page, you'll notice it reconfigures to optimize for whatever size device you're using it on. So it's totally responsive. You do have a search box here at the top. The search box just operates like any other search box. And we know that most students like to start with search, but you'll notice that we have a prominent presentation of our research topics on this page as well. So we start off with the trending topics. So these are the topic pages that are most popular among all our users over the last 3 days. And you can see from the topics here that they kind of cover the types of topics that students frequently write assignments on, argumentative essays on. Things like gun control, animal experimentation, abortion, but there are also some newer topics here too, like artificial intelligence, social media. We'll dive into how these pages are designed in a minute. I just want to give you the sense of the landing page. From here, you also have the editor's picks. So these are other topics that are not necessarily selected for their popularity, but to give students something else to think about as they consider what topic they might want to do their paper on. And then there's sort of a rubric for the study of the social issues down here under the need help choosing a topic area, where you can pick a major category and then narrow it down. So I'll go ahead and click environment and science. And you see they have this cover flow of a range of topics. And as I scroll down, the page starts filling in with more and more of these topic pages. I can use any of these little lozenges up here to narrow my search. And now I'm just looking at the ones related to environmentalism, and then I can dive in from there. So like, for example, let's say we were interested in electric vehicles. I would click on the electric vehicles page. And basically all of the pages are designed very similar to what you're going to see here. There is a summary written by our editors. This just provides a 1 to 2 paragraph overview of kind of the state of the debate, if you will, or the state of the issue in the US or globally. And it's meant to just really give a grounding in the topic, not meant to be more than that. It is written by our editors, and they do extensive research to make sure that the content is accurate and up to date. All of these pages get reviewed at least once a year, and some of them more frequently than that. Then there's what we call the essential question. So in this case, should electric vehicle use be mandated? And then with that, you have a viewpoint 1 and a viewpoint 2. The viewpoint 1, yes, electric vehicles are more environmentally friendly and increasingly affordable. And then you have 3 articles that our editors have selected that support or offer arguments in favor of the first viewpoint, and 3 articles that offer support or arguments in favor of the second viewpoint. We do kind of formulate this as viewpoint 1 and viewpoint 2 because in some cases, pro and con, that particular framework doesn't make sense. But in general, these are contrasting viewpoints, as is the case here. If I look at any one of these articles, I mentioned you get the full text of the article. This one happens to be from the New York Times. At the bottom, I have links to related subjects, so I can click on this and get other articles that are also assigned a similar subject heading. So again, it helps me to kind of navigate the product by subject. Each article has a summary, staff written summary, with an excerpt from the article and a little bit of an overview so the student can find out, is this really for me? We call out whether it's a newspaper, magazine, book, transcript, etc. Again, we take for granted, those of us who've been a little older, that students know what a newspaper is and what it looks like. And certainly digitally, there's nothing to distinguish a newspaper from a magazine. So calling it out is important so that if a student is tasked with finding 3 newspaper sources, they know whether they're looking at one or not. And here's the translate feature, 19 different languages you can translate. These are on-the-fly translations. There's also a text-to-speech feature so that, again, if the student is more of an auditory learner and needs to hear it read to them, they can do that and it will read either the entire article or a portion of it. You can also download it for later citation. I say download it for later listening. On the subject of citation, however, we do have a citation generator with every article. Includes 3 MLA, 9, APA, and Turabian. You can copy it. You can export it to Noodle Tools if you use Noodle Tools or EasyBib. You also have the Save to Cloud feature, Google Drive, Google Classroom, Microsoft OneDrive. It'll save the full text there. So if you're a student, you're collaborating with a team, maybe it's a debate team, you can save and work together on that, or even highlight or take notes in the Google Doc version of the article. Moving back to the page we just left, just to continue our tour of a typical leading issues page, you do have a link to more articles on electric vehicles, so you're not confined to the 6 articles we provide. You can click here and you get taken to a search result that has articles on electric vehicle use. You can even narrow from the search results page to, if you just want magazines, you can just look at the magazines, whatever the case may be. And I'll just find my way back to the electric vehicles page so we can look at that. One of the more popular features, and I always like to present it, is this research guide for the critical thinker. Now, this research guide for the critical thinker is a rubric that can be used with this product or really with any product or any other resource. And it gives students an opportunity. I'm going to look at the PDF. I'm going to open that up in a new window here. Give students a document, a fillable PDF document that they can use to organize their thoughts and information as they work on this project. So I can just start typing here in this PDF. You see the questions. What is the purpose of your project? Are you writing to persuade, to inform? Does this issue relate to my personal life? Has it affected my community? What terms do I need to know to understand this issue better? Who's affected by this issue? What are the main controversies? It's about a 6-page document. And as you go through, you see there's places to list articles containing arguments, organize supporting facts, as well as supporting opinions. There's a place to help draft a thesis statement with supporting arguments and places to put there, and a place to create a clearly stated opinion. So again, a student could be working here in the leading issue and toggling back and forth between there and this rubric to fill it out and start to organize their information, moving their way towards actually writing a paper or organizing a PowerPoint. So it's a very powerful tool. Only 6 pages. I've had questions before about, do students need to complete all 6 pages? You can use as much or as little of this as makes sense, depending on the nature of the project. Maybe only the first 3 pages are necessary to get them organized. It can be used also in tandem with other resources that you might have. So again, just so we're clear, you can find that in the middle of any research topic page leading issues page in the research guide for the critical thinker. And it's downloadable as a PDF or a doc as well. Just continuing our tour here, there are critical thinking questions around the issue. What impact do electric vehicles have on the oil industry? How will automakers keep up with the demand for electric cars? So we're not limiting yourself to just the essential question, but rather giving you ideas or giving the user ideas about how they can expand their research. There's also an editorial cartoon to support visual literacy and a timeline. We give a partial timeline here, and you can click to get to the full timeline of the origin of the electric car discussion. You can see in some cases we've embedded graphics or images, and we do keep it updated with content even as recently as January of 2024. So again, this can be helpful to students to see the evolution of an issue, might even help them create a understanding of what their position might be on the essential question. The last thing I'll point out is that we do have breadcrumb trails for each one of these leading issues, so you can always work your way backward to back to the environmentalism, or if you want to explore other areas of transportation. And then there's related leading issues here at the bottom, where you can click to topics that are related. And if I jump there, you'll see that the organization is the same. Every one of these has a timeline, critical questions, etc. So that's the quick whirlwind tour. You can do search, and a lot of these topic pages will come up in search. If I go agricultural subsidies, you see that the first result is a research topic page, and then I have other articles here, and I even have a carousel of images that I can select from, including charts and graphs and maps. Again, we know how visual accompaniments like graphs and images are important increasingly in outputs for students. And so we want to select them and make them available. And they are all rights cleared for use in the classroom, by the way. So you can filter by source type here. You can also limit by the last 12 months. We exclude older newspapers and magazines older than 10 years by default, but if you were to unclick this, you can expand your search to go even further back, which would bring in some older content. We exclude the older content because we know in some cases there's concern about students using outdated information, but we also know that sometimes that older content can provide that valuable historical context as well. So it just depends on your need and what the project is that you're working on. I'll mention that there's an advanced search. It's a very basic advanced search. You can limit by source type. So I could go electric cars or electric vehicles, and I just want magazine articles. I can limit by number of dates or Lexile score if I know a Lexile score, and get results that way. So that's available to you. The last thing I'll mention is the educators' resources. There's a list of all the leading issues. This is a PDF document. And again, how did I get here? It's up here in the upper right, educators' resources. I click issues A to Z, and it has the complete list of all 320 issues. Sometimes, particularly if you're trying to get a colleague or a fellow teacher or instructor interested in the product, something like this can give them a sense of the breadth and depth of this product and how it might fit with something that they're teaching or getting ready to discuss. And all of these are hyperlinked to the leading issue. There are also student-ready PDFs for analyzing editorial cartoons, infographics, statistics, argument writing. These are in PDF, Word, or Google Docs. There are note organizers. For those of you who are familiar with the ProQuest platform, you can also access SIRS Issues Researcher on the ProQuest platform. It's really not optimized for the student experience, but for a librarian or for a teacher who has some experience doing more advanced database searching, the same content is available on this more sophisticated interface. So particularly useful if you have more than one ProQuest product that you have access to. So again, how did I get there? It's on the educators' resources and then SIRS Issues Researcher on the ProQuest platform. There's also a link to curriculum standards correlations, a LibGuide, title list, links to training webinars, and more. I briefly mentioned this, but I just want to reiterate, you have the ability to log into either Microsoft OneDrive or Google Drive up here at the top, and you can save your documents as you go along in either one of those repositories. So to wrap up my presentation, I just want to talk about the standards alignment for this product. We mentioned that this is a very common assignment, the persuasive or argumentative essay. I spent a little time in the Iowa state standards and looked at the social studies standards, the gathering and evaluating sources, look at the issues highlighted here, gather relevant information from multiple sources representing a wide range of views using the origin, authority, structure, context, and corroborative value of the sources to guide the selection, and evaluate the credibility of a source by examining how experts value the source. Again, the diversity of viewpoints that you're going to find in SIRS Issues Researcher can directly address that standard. The grades 9 through 10 literacy standards, the reading standards for informational text. Again, analyze how in detail how an author's ideas and claims are developed and refined by particular sentences, paragraphs, or larger portions of text. Again, that research guide for the critical thinker can be helpful in addressing that. Determine the author's point of view or purpose in the text. Again, that leading issues organization can help with that. Analyze various accounts of a subject told in different mediums. So again, we have multimedia, we have text, determining which details are emphasized in each account, and delineate and evaluate argument and specific claims in the text. Again, we can look to the research guide for the critical thinker to help with that. And even if we look into the science standards, you can see that there are subjects where the leading issues directly address. For example, this is on Earth and human activity. Evaluate or refine a technological solution that reduces impacts of human activities on natural systems. Remember when we were in the product and I navigated to that environmental area of SIRS and specifically the electric vehicles, that could be a topic or an issue that meets this criteria of a technological solution to reduce impacts of human activities on natural systems. So with that, I think I'll stop and just see if there's any questions or any other information I can provide.
I'm not sure about questions, but thank you so much for connecting that to the standards and even not just the argumentative writing, but some of the other standards as well. And I appreciate how you dug in and showed the document that could be used to help structure, provide some scaffolds for students as they're gathering all of their notes, and some additional information that I wasn't aware of with SIRS, and I already think it's just amazing. So
Wonderful.
thanks for helping build my knowledge as well.
My pleasure. And yeah, we do get a lot of positive feedback about the research guide, and it does play nicely with not only Iowa state standards, but just really across the board national standards as well.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks so much. We really appreciate it, and look forward to digging in and looking at some topics.
Thank you, Larry.
Wonderful. Thanks again
Thanks
for the
so much.
invitation.
Yeah, thank you.